What is going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of Talking Film, and today we are talking Pain and Gain.
Woo!
2013 film, and I'd like to introduce my co-host, Varangian Vigilante. How you doing, sir?
Very well. I hope you're doing exactly as good. I'm literally pumped to talk about this movie.
Hey, you did a quick pump before you sat in that chair.
Yeah, and even like I'm having my pre-workout drink.
Man, Pain and Gain. So this was a movie that came up last week, and he was like, hey, let's talk Pain and Gain. Because it's been a while since I watched this film.
Yeah, one of the most historically accurate films that exists. Crazy enough.
The story is accurate, but the film definitely skidded some lines in how they portrayed things. But yeah, this film, like, I remember, I never heard of the Sun Gym Gang until this film. And then
it's actually crazy, yeah, because one might think, like, especially like in Florida, this would be like more known because it's such a crazy story.
I guess it's only been contained to Miami.
Yeah.
That it didn't travel up to the rest of it.
Yeah, I think it was like, this is not the stuff you want to like get out there. Like, even for Florida, this is insane.
But yeah, the film Pain and Gain, starring The Rock, Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Mackie, and a slew of other great actors in this film. And it's directed by Michael Bay.
Yeah, it's I think we both were criticizing Michael Bay like a lot for his Transformers movie, for his Turtles films, but he's a very talented director when it's about street movies. Bad Boys. Even The Rock the film was a little bit like over the top, like a big budget, but it still was, I think, very much like. It was not an Armageddon and a fantastic film, but this was his going back to the roots, and this movie is just excellent. I love this movie. I could rewatch it every day.
Yeah, this film is very different from traditional Michael Bay films. Like, it's not a high budget film. It only had like a $25 million budget. Yeah. So there wasn't a whole lot of explosions and stuff that we come used to seeing with Michael Bay. But what he does is, he tells the true life story of the Sun Gym Gang, who extorted, murdered, and did all types of criminal activity within down South Florida and Miami.
And for a while, they were doing it successfully in the public eye, taking over the whole richness of one person that nobody believed. Not the police said, "Oh, this sounds like a movie." They didn't believe it. So just imagine that somebody is kidnapping you, torturing you, forcing a signature, and then you somehow survives while they're trying to really fucking kill you. There's people out there that just randomly fall and they're dead. This guy, they rammed with the car into like a vehicle, they set him on fire, and then they ran him over with the car, and he survived. Like, sometimes the human body can be really a tough son of a bitch. So and then he went to the police, and they didn't believe him because they thought the story is too crazy.
And not only that, he had checkered past as well. So they was like, they were more concerned with his checkered past than they were his story.
Yeah. So it's like, really think about that. Everything is taken away from you, and nobody believes.
Tony Shalhoub was fantastic in this film. If I were to say he's the MVP for being such a fucking dirtbag,
so good, and he wasn't even the first choice. The first choice would have been also awesome, would have been John Turturro, but he had a scheduling conflict.
Man,
he would have nailed it.
Yeah, he was in the Transformers film, so it would have made sense.
He would have nailed it too. Yeah, but Monk was. He was like MVP. Yeah,
he was great. He was he plays such a rich dirtbag snob that you want to hate his ass so much that they like, how the fuck this guy keeps surviving?
Yeah.
It's crazy, you know, and credit to him for Monk, you know, for pulling that role off and actually giving me an interest in, like, is he going to survive? Is he going to get his riches back? Because it's crazy.
It's crazy, and you know, since it's like also based on a real life person, the real life person was named Schiller, and actually because they said like he had a very shady past, so he
did not like his portrayal in the film though.
Yeah, I believe so. Like he got also like a prison sentence, but because of all the fuck ups, I think they reduced it to 6 months or something, because all the police were like, well, let's keep this a little bit in the red, because they didn't exactly do their job.
They didn't do their job because they didn't believe his story, and his checkered past was like, man, we ain't gonna take this dude serious. Yeah. But when you think about it, like, this man set himself up. Everything that happened to him is his fault.
Never boast about your finances.
No. And he was talking to Danny Lugo, played by Mark Wahlberg, who, you know, throughout this film, and especially in the beginning half, he wanted something better in life. Like, he was a trainer and manager at the Sun Gym, and while he enjoyed, you know, managing people's fitness, he felt he wanted more.
He deserved more.
Yeah, he deserved more for the years he got in death. But, you know, when you got somebody like that who's so ambitious to do something different and make something of his life, when you hear somebody talking about how wealthy they are, how much money they make, and they own a sandwich shop, and the past lifestyle and the cartel and stuff like that, and how he rides and live like Ric Flair. It's like you're putting the seeds in Danny Lugo's mind, like, oh, we can do something. And nobody was a bigger motivator for Danny Lugo than Johnny Woo.
Yeah, I think that was like fantastic portrayal. And of course everybody knows him from Hangover and Community, and he like playing this like motivational douchebag. And there's a fucking lot of these people out there, you know, especially since I'm also in coaching and I'm writing teaching material, and sometimes I also see like people where I think it's you know, is you're all just talking bullshit and pushing people up. You know, for some maybe it functioned, but you are totally ripping them off.
my favorite part is when after he's talking to Danny, he walks away like, get the bitches in the boat. We gotta I said, get the bitches in the boat. This is hilarious. But you know, he has this slogan, doers or donors.
Yeah.
And he's
and the 3 steps, get a goal, get a plan, and get up off
your lazy ass.
Yeah.
And be a doer.
Yeah, be a doer. Don't be a don'ter.
Like I said in my quote here, man, I'm a doer, but sometimes I'm a donor. Because I don't do everything. There's certain things you just don't do.
Exactly.
Frank White said that. Yep.
And of course, on me laugh like that, I would do anything for laugh, but I won't do that.
Exactly. So he plants the seed of motivation in Danny Lugo's mind, which lead to him setting up the plan to extort Crenshaw for his money. So he has to have a crew. And then, you know, one of his right-hand man, Adrian Noel Doorball, played by Anthony Mackie, who the film really tries to say steroids and erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, but the other thing is with it, I mean, you know, with Anthony Mackie, is like, I think they did him a little bit dirty because he only had 3 weeks to prepare for this role. And when you then compare it with Mark Wahlberg and the fucking Rock,
he was small change.
He looked very small in there. He only had 3 weeks to train, and there's also the line in the script that Lugo Wahlberg says later. I brought you to 6% body fat. It's like, that's not 6% body fat. That's not even 10% body fat. Like it's way more body fat than he had. So he was body-wise not very convincing. So at a bodybuilding show, like no chance. Like not even in an amateur show. But I know it's a movie, and he worked out.
That's why they threw the whole steroid thing. Like the struggle of him, being in best physique shape like the rest of them, so he had to take anabolic steroids.
Yeah, and that's the thing. What a lot of people have a very big misconception about steroids is that everybody thinks you take that shit and you suddenly become fucking Hulk Hogan. But that's vitamins and prayers with Hulk Hogan.
What was the you said titty juice he was drinking?
But actually, it's like everybody totally some people are super responsors and they're getting huge and they're genetically gifted. They're going to be really pro bodybuilders. Other people might not even know taking steroids, but they'll take a shitload of steroids.
Mm-hmm.
But
they misuses it.
Yeah, and the best thing is if you're not a professional bodybuilder, you don't take that shit because you are wasting wasting years of your life away.
It's not worth it.
It's definitely not worth it.
So, that his character was going through his struggles. And then we get The Rock, Paul Doyle. And I got to say, out of the 3, he was probably the funniest out of the 3.
Absolutely.
Just based off
the Christian thing going on that he had.
The Christian, him getting the money and blowing it on cocaine and then trying to rob him there.
Yeah. I was like when he said God gave me many gifts. One of them is punching people.
Man, I like I said, people criticize The Rock because he's not a great actor.
Yeah.
But when it comes to it, he can pull off some of these roles really well.
He plays in
this
so
role,
many
he plays like the definitive meathead that is conflicted.
Yeah, absolutely, he does it so well. I actually love him most in movies when he's really playing himself. But this actually is, I think, with Rampage, I think this is my favorite Rock movie.
Yeah,
and what was the movie? Red Notice. Red Notice was also really brilliant.
That's the one
with Gal Gadot and
Ryan Reynolds
and Deadpool. Yeah, with Black Adam, Wonder Woman, and Deadpool.
The trifecta we didn't know we needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good film. But here, I just love how over the top he plays. Like he wants to be respected and stuff, but then he's dumb. He's conflicted. He's nice. It's like out of the 3 of them, he's probably the nicest.
Yeah, but it's still it's very easy to influence.
Yeah, because Danny Lugo is influencing him in the wrong way.
And that's the thing with this movie is that what is so funny that all of these 3 people are idiots. Yep. And aside the Mark Wahlberg's character think that he's his superior intelligence.
Yeah, he thinks he's
just because he's smarter than other idiots.
Man, when they hatched their plan to kidnap Crenshaw, you got some of the stupidest shit coming out of Mark Wahlberg's mouth. Here's your costume. And like a ninja suit. What? And then he gives Mackie an alien suit. And I'm like, what kind of disguises are this?
Actually, I love the ninja one because that is like this is something exactly like Lugo's character, like in I don't know if it was also like that in real life, but in the movie, he's basically got all his wisdom from Scarface, from The Godfather, and other movies, and so he clearly grew up in that area. There was also like a big action movie fans, of course. It has to be ninjas, like that.
3 ninjas, baby. So they completely botched the first job of trying to capture him. And it's hilarious because the man walked right by the damn van and they over there looking under the cars, looking all over the place. And I'm like, how you missing? And it was the wrong car that they tagged to say that was the car. No, it was the wrong one.
Yeah.
I like already you start off the gate failing.
And this was actually something, I think in reality they had like 7 attempts of kidnapping him. So this is actually a movie toned down. Like in some scenes the movie even has to tone down stuff because the reality was just so fucking crazy.
Like they ain't trying to have him do like 7 attempts. Because then that would have been too much comedy right there if they really did that. They could have did like maybe in a short montage of them failing it and then finally capturing him. And then they take him to the warehouse full of erotic toys.
I love the Rock's character when he's like slapping like that big fake pussy with the ass. Like
he's just smacking it. He's like, where am I? This warehouse. Why you choose this warehouse of all things? Oh man. And then they beat him up with a dildo. They beat Crenshaw up with a fucking dildo, yo.
that's this movie. Watching it, for European standards, everything okay. But I thought for American standards, like it's a miracle they got an R rating and not an X rating.
It's probably a good thing. Because they X-rated they would have had to take all that stuff out.
Yeah, and I'm also so happy because it fits the movie so well. This movie portrays something that is so over the top in such an interesting way. Like they take this, they totally run with this over the top real life event, as tragic as it is, and turn it into a comedy. You know, this movie could as well be like a drama, like very straight. But I think it was like a really good decision that they went with the ridiculousness and make like a hyperbole about the comedy. So they're basically taking something so ridiculous and make it funnier, which makes it even crazier. So I think it was like the correct choice.
Yeah, because a situation like this where, you know, you got a bunch of gym guys, you know, kidnapping and extorting and ripping people off, it's not funny at all. Like, you read the story and it's like these guys were malicious. You know, especially Doorbell. Like I said in pre-show, like he was the instigator. He was the one in real life talking to Scylla, because Scylla did not like Lugo. You know, but he connected with Doorbell, and Doorbell was the one that actually set up the plan to kidnap him, because he heard all from what Scylla talked. So the movie flips that and have Lugo the one that gets close with Crenshaw. But making it a comedy actually does elevate it.
Yes, and also like it's a very good choice that they simplified it a little bit. You know, they kept it to 3 people, and I mean 4 with the gym owner. You have a lot of
the gym owner and the girl.
Yeah, and they have the girl from Romania,
who's a spy.
And there's a lot of Easter eggs. You know, if you like bodybuilding. For like example, like there's some gym, the owner has like this Joe Vida bust on his table. I would love to have such a Joe Vida bust. Like Joe Vida, one of the most influential bodybuilding figures ever. You know, created the Mr. Olympia contest. So he would have hated this probably.
he wasn't no associated with this shit. Yeah. But you know that it makes sense to have that. Like I know I saw Arnold reference in there and stuff like they got all that in there because that's the fitness lifestyle. You live by it. Pain and gain is based off the slogan, no pain, no gain.
Yeah, and it's also interesting because I was also looking, of course, like in the posters they had everywhere, which kind of bodybuilders there were. What I've seen was very, very realistic. I even think I've seen the Austrian bodybuilder Thomas Münzer in one of the little articles that Anthony Mackie had on this wall. Because, of course, his movie plays in 1995. So, of course, I was also looking at, okay, is there any bodybuilder that just was later? But what I've seen was actually very, very spot on.
Yeah.
And the way they portrayed the gym culture, like, there's a lot of intelligent people in bodybuilding, but there's also really a lot of people that, the line in the beginning where it says, like, he hates, like, wasted potential. And people that get fat and wasted away, like this is not only like unhealthy stuff. It's like it's also unpatriotic, and this is something that I know a lot of bodybuilders would also say, like being fat is unpatriotic. It's un-American.
they have that elitism about themselves.
Yeah,
like working out, being strong and fit makes you feel like you're at the top of the world.
Exactly. And of course also like basically I'm looking good, so I have to be right in everything, so I know about everything.
Yeah, they look at everybody else who's eating all the McDonald's and stuff and fat, like shaming them.
Yeah, and there's also like a lot of when you have like just a really good looking person, like these days is like Michael Hearn. All the memes around like the baby don't hurt me. Michael Hearn is such a sympathetic person, actually. Like he's really a nice guy and everything. But I think the
amount of variations that baby don't hurt me
it's fantastic.
That medieval one you posted, I'm like, this is a medieval one?
Yeah. Yeah. But with some things, he's saying you can clearly see that he's like in a bubble. He's like basically one of the most beautiful men on the planet, and he's clearly like in a bubble, so that he just think that things are naturally coming because I mean he's working hard and everything, but of course he's in a bubble. And it's like a lot with people that are in fitness community. That also you can see it here with Mark Wahlberg's character Lugo, that he's like also forming this cult around him.
Yeah. Now that you think, I kind of wish Michael Hearn was in this film. He would have.
He would have nailed it. First of all, what a lot of people don't know, he has like a fantastic humor. He's actually doing a great movie. I think that was really successful at Sundance, which comes out where he also plays a bodybuilder, and where I always forget the name. Where Mayers, who is like in hot water currently. Who plays Kang the Conqueror?
Yeah, Jonathan
Majors, and he's also in this movie, and it's about, I think, somebody trying to win the Mr. Olympia, and it's also like a crime drama and shit. And he's about to play a very interesting character in that by Michael Hearn. So Michael Hearn has a fantastic sense of humor. So if he would have been in this, would have been fantastic. He also had a great cameo in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Man, there's a name that's coming to my mind. But a guy on Instagram, black guy, he does comedy. He does a stupid walk like this. He buff and stuff. He kicks food out of people's hands, saying, "You need to work out," and stuff like that. And dude is over the top hilarious. I need to find his page because every time I see him, he's hilarious. But yeah, the bodybuilders take this shit serious too, man.
Yeah, I really wish there would have been a little bit more cameos in there. But yeah, man, you have some cameos, of course, from wrestler. You have, I think, Vladimir Klitschko. One of the Klitschkos has a cameo in there. And then, of course, Kurt Angle, like the fight, the backslash, the prison fight with The Rock.
I forgot all about that Kurt Angle with The Rock in this film. I was like, that took me back to 2000 when Kurt Angle beat The Rock. for the title. Rock got his revenge.
Yeah, personally, what I would have loved is if you would have casted Vince McMahon as maybe as the gym owner. That would have been so.
I don't know. That gym owner was kind of a pushover, man. That ain't Vince. Okay. Vince ain't no pushover.
Yeah, but I think he could have done something very interesting with that role.
But yeah, like they do the whole kidnapping thing and torture, and it's hilarious. Like the torture scene's supposed to be torturous, but it's in reality because of Paul's character, reading to him and giving him drinks. It's like, is this torture or is this like trying to help him out and stuff? Like he develops a bond with him.
That's the thing with this movie. What it does so well is switching between like this really how to phrase it best. These are actually really horrible scenes and really horrible acts, but combining with the comedy. So it's sometimes, when you're really watching it and then you suddenly think it's like, actually that's pretty cruel. For example, when they try to kill Kirstov.
That was...
Like, and be like...
What this motherfucker Paul put the seatbelt on?
Yeah. Or later, with the porn king, where basically when they, also killed his wife, they put the horse tranquilizer, and it's like, this is so wrong.
It is. It's like, damn, how all these guys are scumbags, and like you said pre-show, it's like there's only one really good character in the film,
which is the private detective, who fantastically portrayed by Ed Harris. The only thing is, the crazy thing about Ed Harris is, I was so watching this. I was checking, is he still alive? He looked so old in this. He was only in his 60s. I think he's now 73 years old, I think. But he already looked like 80 years old.
Yeah, he looked old, but
he looked very old. He looked like Clint Eastwood being in his 90s old.
But he was the only really good-hearted character. And again, he at first didn't want to believe in Crenshaw.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, I'm not going to buy your story.
I also really laughed when they said him, at the end of the movie, it's like, you're a very difficult victim. Because...
But man, back to that scene where they tried to, set him up, set Crenshaw up to say that he was so drunk and that he crashed his car. I was like, they are doing everything humanely possible to make this look like a drunk accident murder. And it is just failing. Nothing was worse than when they blew the fucking car up. They do the walk away. Like in every movie, they walk away, explosive back. And then this dude gets out the car, barely on fire, brushes that shit off. And I'm like, damn, they cannot catch a break.
Yeah, and the other thing is what was also so crazy when he's in the car later and the Rock's character is driving and Lugo Wahlberg is like drive over him, drive him over. And then he drives him over, go back, make sure he kills him, and he drives over him again. It's just so crazy that he survived that. And then it's
and then Lugo is like, you killed him.
You killed him. He's like, we killed him. No, you killed him. Everybody knows this fucking kid in school, when you went out and you make a little prank and then suddenly it's like, oh, we just didn't know you did that. The one that doesn't take any responsibility.
Exactly. Yep.
Everybody knows a little kid, and just imagine this with an adult, stupid, crime idiot. And after you try to kill somebody, they're like, no, you did it.
And that's their alibi. Yeah, you did it. So that way, if they do get caught, he can put the blame on him.
Yeah.
He's the one that drove the car. He killed him.
Yeah.
He ran him over.
And it was Yeah, The Rock's kind of the stupidest of all three, so he was very easy to influence.
he was the biggest, most buff guy out of the three, but his dim-witted brain could not comprehend. Like I said, The Rock was MVP for those three, and like I like the portrayal because there are guys that are just easily influenced. They're nice guys, but they are influenced by other things. He, of course, got influenced by the cocaine. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. And it influenced him to the point he blew all his money.
Quote Rick James.
Rick James. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Rick James, bitch!
Oh, nothing's more worse than when you strung out on coke and you ain't got no more money.
Yeah. This was also so well portrayed, and then he tried to rob like the money transport.
That shit stuck with me. This man got his big toe
shot.
Bro, I'm like, how the fuck you gonna pick your big toe up and keep that shit? And then you gonna give it to the dog. That's the shit. I'm like, I didn't see this shit in the real life. They just add this for comedy effect.
Yeah, but it's also really hilarious in this movie. It has like a minor role and is like playing the wife of Anthony Mackie's character of Doorbell. It's Rebel Wilson. Rebel Wilson is really good in this movie.
She works as a nurse for the doctor who does erectile dysfunction
at the dick clinic.
And she falls for Doorbell. And they just loaded him up with all this antibiotics, to help his sexual prowess, but it really don't do shit.
Shaped like a boomerang.
And that's like damn. She wasted all her time getting with him, and then she just turned on him at the end because he's like,
right.
He ain't shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was good for her role in it.
Yeah.
Like most people would what up, Remo?
Yeah, Remo.
Hey, we've been on for 32 minutes. Remo's the first person not only to comment, but the first person to watch because we were stuck on 0.
Yeah. We're just doing this for ourselves. Anyway.
Guess people ain't paying in game fans.
Yeah, it's like, And you know what? It's right and patriotic. It's un-American.
That's right.
Nobody's showing off.
They're donors, not doers.
Exactly. And they're all un-American, so hand in your passport and go to somewhere like some of this Mexican country.
But accidentally. But you know what? While they was planning on the whole thing with Crenshaw, and the man escaped, he escaped death. That's what he did. Yeah. He escaped death.
Yeah, like I said, sometimes it's like people die so randomly.
Yeah, it's a true story. Even if the movie changed things.
That's the crazy, and even once in the movie, there's like this subtitle that says this is still a true story. And I also watched a documentary afterwards about the real craziness. Yeah, really craziness, and some scenes in there where you think, okay, this must be clearly fake, are actually the most accurate. For example, when they're trying to get the weapons and the tasers. And they basically...
when they tased Crenshaw's face, that was Michael Bay's specialty right there.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, the slow-mo, the spit flying out.
Yeah.
I'm like, God.
But they really went into like a weapon shop in the US and just said that they're like security for a band, and that's the way they got like all this fucking shit.
Yeah, only in Florida. I swear to God, Florida is crazy.
Yeah, so this movie is one of the most historically accurate movies of any real life event.
The torture scene, and I love when Crenshaw is talking to the police in his hospital bed. Not only are they not respecting his story, they talk about how his blood alcohol level was so high. They also think like, oh, he in some freaky shit because we found this burnt dildo in the car.
Yeah, the police did not take him seriously. Like anything in real life, he waited a few weeks until he went to the police. So it's not like that. In the movie, it goes immediately, but in the real life, that guy waited for a while. But what's also is true is when he was in the hospital and he checked himself out of the hospital because he was afraid that they go in there and kill him, which they really tried, dressed up as medical personnel.
Couldn't find him.
Yeah, they couldn't find him. And you also laughed that Lugo's character, Mark Wahlberg, is there like in the operational dress, and the doctor asked him like, "Why are you dressed for operations?" "I want to be ready for everything."
And I like how the doctor was talking about how he said Crenshaw said that you beat up by a bunch of bodybuilders.
Yeah,
and he looks at him real quick.
Yeah. And the rock in the background was like.
he disappeared like Homer in the bushes.
Yeah.
Oh shit! That whole scene was hilarious.
This is also the fantastic thing about this movie. There is not one single scene where I would be like, oh, okay, let's get over this. This is boring. This is just one highlight after another.
Yeah, it's like the movie. Like it's a 2 hours 5 minutes. But the movie is paced where it keeps you entertained with these parts. Like you're waiting to see what's next. Like after they get Crenshaw's riches, you see them living lifestyle, and Lugo moves into his house. He becomes new neighbors. he meets his new neighbor and they hit it off. And they're like, "Oh, I got a little basketball set up, for the kids to come."
And then he trains the kids and. Motivates the kids. It is also when he plays against basketball with the kids and he's like really, dominating them because of course he's a fucking adult playing basketball against kids. I think also everybody
monster,
knows.
Bro. He's a buff ass dude dunking on little kids.
Yeah, that totally reminds me when I was like in school and we also had this gym teacher who played fucking dodgeball with us and we were like,
I hated. We had this gym teacher that was strong.
Yeah.
And whenever he got the ball, I was like, "Fuck, man, he's gonna throw the ball," and he barely misses. He's gonna hit one of us.
Like, that's actually like a lot out there. I think a lot of fucking gym teachers in schools getting paid for really manhandling fucking.
Bro, this teacher was so hardcore that he had us do push-ups, stop halfway through, and count to 10. We gotta hold that pose halfway to 10.
Yeah,
bro, he was torturing us.
We had this against the wall when you had like to take a sit in the air against the wall. Actually, like looking back, I think for our age groups, like all these fucking gym teachers in the 90s were truly sadists.
I agree.
Across the world, like.
I ain't never had gym teachers this hardcore like that. Have us do these push-ups and sit-ups and stuff like that, but then time us on that shit and we gotta hold that pose. And I'm like, fuck, how long you gonna make me? He'll make it, if he really didn't like you, he'll make you hold it for 20, 30 seconds. It's like, and if you don't do it, he's gonna have you restart it over and over again until you get it right. I'm like, oh.
This like one of our group was not running straight, and he dragged him out and he fucking dislocated her shoulder. Like, yeah, and he didn't even get any. Like there was no punishment for him.
and then your parents like, son, how you failed gym? Shit, I got this hardcore ass fucking gym teacher. I don't want to go gym. Oh man, That brought back memories right there, right?
Yeah, like a lot of logos in the schools around the world.
Yeah, think about it. That shit brought back memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, so him beating up them kids on the basketball and then training them.
Yeah.
It's like that is definitely a fitness too.
And of course, like also like doing like the neighborhood watch and then getting having the hot Romanian model.
Oh my god, yo! I ain't never seen dudes so excited to play a rapist.
Like who wanna be the rapist? It's like all like, and it's like pick me. It's like no, it's we only pick one. It's not gonna be a gang rape.
This movie, I forgot about that scene, but I was dying laughing when dudes was raising their hand and their wives looking at them like, "What the fuck you doing? You want to play a rapist?" Like, I'm just doing it for acting.
Yeah, no, sadly with all the news out there, very accurate.
Like I'm side-eyeing you if you raise your hand saying, "Let me portray a rapist." The old girl's like, "Who wants to come and rape me?" You're like, "Oh, I do. Like, the fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
That means I'm looking at you like this is something you actually participate in.
Yeah, like it's crazy. It's like what the fuck? Like, you know, it's we're doing a lot of jokes here, like very inappropriate jokes, but we're both decent men. Like it's like don't volunteer to be a rapist. Even for role play.
If I was sitting there and somebody said we're gonna reenact a rape scene, who wants to be the rapist? I'm looking like I ain't trying to do that. That's just wrong.
Yeah,
but yeah, just because it's a beautiful blonde girl, some old middle-aged dudes pick me, like they school children. Good Lord. That shit had me laughing as well. And it also made me like look at it like there are dudes that literally would probably do that shit. And I'm looking at you like, yeah, I don't want to associate with you. You ain't my friend no more. Let me move away. You do your thing. I'm gonna go do mine.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing, you know, at this point of time, like at least how the movie presents it is they got away with it. They took over another man's life and got away with it.
And it only lasted for how long?
Yeah, because, you know...
Or in the case of Paul Doyle, all that cocaine had him broke immediately. And he couldn't pay his rent, the room, all that. Dude had to go and rob a bank truck. Yeah.
And then, of course, coming up with the plan that they need to do another one.
and Ed Harris's character said they're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Watch. Because once you do it once, that cash flow ain't gonna last long.
Which is because actually interesting is like the movie portrays it because Lugo's character actually he did a lot of responsible choices afterwards, but the other two were always like, hey, I just bought a house, like I need also more money incoming.
He got married, bought a house, and that all zapped his funds.
So of course, that Doyle heard about knows like this drug kingpin, the drug porn kingpin, and they said, oh, he's like one of the three richest guys in Florida.
He low-key runs Reality Kings. If you know, you know.
So they were planning like to do the same with him, to kidnap and do it, but things got a little bit wrong.
And you know what? That character, I actually respected him. You know, because he saw Lugo for what he was.
Yeah.
Not a businessman.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you talk a big game, but I could tell you ain't business savvy. So he was smart enough to say, let me talk to some real people in your camp and we can go further with this. And Lugo felt offended because, you know, it's the roadblocks. He had the roadblock when it came to the notary to get Crenshaw's money. So once again, a roadblock is in his way. and he can't handle the fact that this dude does not respect his intelligence.
Exactly, because he has superior intelligence.
and soon as he told him, like, you ain't nothing but a low-key amateur and all that, man, Lugo went off.
Yeah.
They got into a scuffle. They fought. Dude fell on the floor, and Lugo was kicking the floor so hard that the fucking dumbbells fell on dude's head. And even I cringed at that.
And that's like also a friendly reminder, when you have dumbbells and barbells at home, to keep them safe, locked, so they don't fall off, because shit can happen when you lift heavy.
And it's not even just the dumbbell. It's the whole fucking bar with the dumbbell. So I'm like, yo, Michael Bay, you getting a little creative with your kills in this shit, man. That's disgusting.
There are kills in this movie that slasher movies would be envious.
That was some Final Destination type shit right there. That kill was gruesome when I first saw this film. I'm like, God, it made me look at dumbbells like, yeah, make sure that shit clamped and locked.
And then how they killed like the wife, like because she was also there,
parading them titties.
Yeah, and the crazy thing, I think this is also reality. Since Luke got a lot of crazy ideas for movies, but actually the one idea for movies to burn off the fingerprints almost made him get away. If it wouldn't have been for the silicone tits of the woman, where they were able to trace it to the person. Which is crazy, when you think like one of the most stupid ideas from a movie, and actually that's the one that was really coming handy.
What's up,
Kenneth?
Bro, when silicone tits got numbers.
And I think they said that was the first time in history that they really used silicone implants to solve like a crime.
That is crazy.
It is.
These silicone implants really identify this person. So it's like,
if you watch this movie and you don't have any hint this is based on a real event, you just would think that this is bonkers. This must have been one of this movie that was created after a coke session in Hollywood.
But what was bonkers was The Rock doing a full-fledged barbecue on them goddamn hands.
Yeah.
This man go outside because the fumes were so strong inside the warehouse, and he's straight cooking up hands.
Hey, D. It's like this movie it also aged like fine, man. 10 years old, this movie, and I think it's like even now funnier than when it came out.
It is. I will agree with that. Like, cause a lot of scenes I forgot, and I was just dying laughing of this whole fucking movie. But this man outside barbecuing limbs, he's acting like, oh, this is normal.
Yeah, I think that's also a beautiful thing about The Rock's performance in there. Mark Wahlberg is so good in portraying like an idiot.
And there's so much evidence they leaving. The fucking chainsaw in the hair.
Yeah, and but The Rock's character Doyle, The Rock is so fantastic in portraying like this stupid character so straight.
Yeah, like he in his mind he ain't stupid.
Yeah,
he's legit stupid.
And he's trying to do good, like.
And it's like just imagine if this was like Nation or corporate Rock. Seeing this Rock do this.
I mean, the one I think the Versace shot is actually from his rock era.
Even Hollywood Rock is that.
I was also so surprised because usually The Rock picks very safe roles for himself. So it's very rare that he really does like portray something very despicable. but even he still tries to play him like a laughable buffoon. Like this is stupid. So
like you can't outright hate him because
you can't hate The Rock. It's like
it's hard to hate The Rock.
It's hard to hate The Rock.
Even his heel turn in Doom couldn't make me hate him. Like, so it's just real hard to hate him. Like Mark Wahlberg easily hated him because that feels like Mark Wahlberg in the nutshell when you really look at all his films. Like, oh, this is Mark Wahlberg in the nutshell. This is who he is almost.
But he's also like he's also really laughable in other movies. For example, the movie that we already talked about, like We Gotta Do in the Future, is I always forget the name of the movie. You know, where he's in the Chinatown. You know, with
Corruptor.
With Chow Yun-fat. Yeah,
that was an underrated film.
A very underrated film. Oh, you're smart.
See, and this is why I do not like people who they got all these degrees on the wall.
Yeah.
Try and make it sound like they're smart. But when you really look at what they're saying, they say the stupidest shit or come up with the dumbest fucking conclusions that I've ever seen. I'm like, how are you a fucking supervisor and the shit you're saying makes no sense?
I have seen people at university where, you know, when I went to university and you have this feeling, you know, I'm in a place, everybody's intelligent, so it's going to be very tough and everything. I have never seen more stupid. I mean, I've seen a lot of intelligent people there, but also I've never seen more stupid people than at university.
It bothers me, man, because me and the guy, my coworker, who's a truck driver who comes pick up material. We're talking about one of the managers from up north coming up with this ridiculous idea, and we like, bro, it's a simple solution, but yet you're coming up with this convoluted idea that makes no sense.
Yeah, this is actually the stuff you should not learn at universities, because universities actually want to teach you about where you can get the information that you need to know the quickest. But there's a lot of people at universities that, especially the ones that never had any real life experience, you know, they went like to high school and then immediately later on go to university, while never have like maybe worked like in the summer or just don't have any grasp of life outside. I have to say, for me, it helped so much that before I went to university, I was working a normal job for 5 years. And then I said, it's like, hey, I always wanted to go to university, so now or never. And so everything in university, I always were able to use it in the context of, hey, does this really function in the real world?
Yeah. And that's our little rant on smartness, because some people try and say they smart, but when you watch what they do and what they say, I'm like, you're not that smart.
Yeah, you know, it's like even when you have, talking about the fitness industry, when you have people from a university who is like, who started like, food, like, and then you have a 300-pound like guy saying to a bodybuilder is like, hey, it's like you can't do that. He
do. I swear to God, dude was holding a plate of oxtails with rice. Buff dude came in there, kicked that shit out. I was like, what you doing? You supposed to come to the gym and work out, and yet you eating this mess that's poison in your body. I was like, bro, I don't care how buff you are. You kick food out my plate, I'm fucking you up. I don't give a fuck.
It's life is complicated.
People make it complicated. Life is not complicated. People make it complicated.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, Pain and Gain, it's one of the most underrated movies.
Yeah, so I like how the movie starts out with Lugo working out, and then the cops come chase him.
Yeah.
Goes back to the beginning, and then it comes right back to that point. And it's like, damn, you think Lugo might get away because he hightailed it to the Bahamas, where Crenshaw had his hidden account that even
for rainy days.
For rainy days, and I like how Ed Harris was like, well, why didn't you tell us this earlier? It's the reason it's a hidden account. Why the fuck should I tell you?
You're very difficult victim.
And I like how Lugo, he gets the money, but then he opens up the safe, and it's nothing but baby pictures, the baby shoes.
Which I think was such a beautiful scene in the. Like, this is actually one of the really beautiful scenes in this movie. To show, like, hey, Jace, to show, like, you know, that this was worth more than money, like these memories.
It's the old trickaroo. You think they got a safe full of cash, and it's not what you expect.
Yeah, it's probably it would be like the same here. You know, it's where it's like, oh, this is like available comics, but hey, what he doesn't have in his like personal stash. It's like, these are just dollar books. Yeah, but I really care about that.
I was expecting no Action Comics 1 and shit. You got Bloodstrike 1.
Yeah, it's like Alexander Fanta issue number 3, first appearance of Walter the Iron Maiden. It's like, what the fuck is this? One of my most valuable keys emotionally.
But yeah, it's like he thought he was gonna get away, and they tracked him down. And I like Crenshaw getting the last laugh, chasing him in the car. And I'm like, wait, who's driving the car? Who put the foot on the gas?
I don't think that this was like that. This actually happened, but for the movie, a really great choice. For the movie,
it played out great.
Yeah,
Crenshaw got his revenge.
I highly recommend to watch this movie, and there's several documentaries on YouTube who compare like the real life events. So I really recommend to first watch the movie, and then to watch like a documentary, and then you have like your mouth open. Because you really can't believe that a lot of the things that are shown in the movie are true. And especially some of the most ridiculous stuff in the movie where I think, okay, they truly have like invented that. No, the most ridiculous things in the movie are actually the truest things.
It is ridiculous. It is crazy. It is over the top. It's been, like I said, I ain't see this movie since it first came out. But watching it again yesterday, I was like, damn, I should watch this movie a lot more than I should.
Yeah, it's crazy how a movie about such horrible acts can be so funny. And those are like so wholesome at the end.
Yeah, because Paul Doyle finally discovered the light. By going to jail, and he ratted out all out. He gave all the incriminating evidence. And like, hey, he was against it, but he was influenced by keep doing it.
So actually, I think like all the sentences everybody got were very solid.
Well, Dorbal and Lugo got death.
Yes, and they deserved it.
And I think Messi, the gym owner, didn't he die in jail?
He died in jail. I think he got 25 years in prison. But hey, he also deserved to that sentence. Yeah,
because he was all about benefiting the gym, highlighting with all the sponsors and stuff. And he unwittingly, but at the same time, did a lot of things to put himself in that position.
And there's a lot of people like that out there.
Yeah. Like I said, life isn't complicated.
Yeah, people make it.
They're the ones that make your life complicated.
And I think Doyle is the only one that's still alive, and I think he's like free now. And he's... I mean, I haven't heard of him anything, but hey... When I also always say, when you get your sentence and you come out and you keep yourself clean, then
because the first time he came out, that damn pastor was getting all feely with him and shit.
If you don't want to get molested, don't go to church. It's like it's not a safe space, especially if it's Catholic.
Yeah, but yeah, this film was trip down memory lane, and it really like when you brought it up about how gym teachers, oh man, it took me back to that rough time in gym during middle school.
It's crazy. But yeah, the rewatch this movie, it's an experience.
Entertainment. So I know you have a haul video.
Yeah, I just got my monthly comic book haul, which is actually first of all, it's very small since, well, not a lot of good comic books out there.
Hey,
for
my
interest, but it actually there's, I think my first haul in a long time, which probably will also in the future like that. There's no title from any of the two major publishers.
I'll be back real quick.
Yeah. So first of all, very happy to get this here is the Ashcan of the upcoming Red Sonja title. I think this is a Shannon Mare cover, so I'm really looking forward to that. I highly enjoyed the free comic book day edition, so this Ashcan I'm going to read tomorrow, and I will give my opinion about it then also tomorrow on Instagram. But yeah, usually, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of Ashcan editions per se. Like, I'm not hunting them down. It's I don't like the format. It's hard to get like a fitting back and forth for the format. So it always seems like you're stealing comics from little people. So the second is this was merely a cover buy. Since I don't have the original, I got this icon cover, the Bruce Timm Vampirella.
Oh, nice.
I think it's a 1 in 10 variant. I'm not reading the title, Vampirella Strikes. It's a sequel to the Vengeance of Vampirella remake. And that one started good, but the last issues were so boring. And I also tried to read issue number 1, and it was like, it didn't pick me up. But hey, the Bruce Timm cover was something I always wanted to have in the collection because it's a really beautiful depiction of Vampirella. So I'm happy to have like this.
Bruce Timm is awesome.
So, this is the final issue of Purgatory Must Die. I really like the thing is based by Fox, by the same writer. I still have to read this. After I haven't read the first 2 issues, I was like, let's wait until the 5 issues are out, and then let's read them in one go. So this is probably something I'm going to read in the next weekend. I really, really hope. It's also something I criticized on YouTube for Dynamite. If you have all these miniseries leading in other miniseries, give it at least a fucking conclusion.
Yeah.
I hate buying miniseries and it's just a build-up for something else, and it is not like a conclusion. You don't have to fully conclude the story, but at least give us a little bit. The next book was something I was waiting for a long time. I think even showed you in a way when the pre-order came out. It's like, I can't wait to read this, and it's as good, even not better than I expected. It's Scout Comics, Count Dante, issue number 1. Do you remember in the Bronze Age comics this advertisement for the Black Dragon Society, so you can learn the mark, the Death Touch?
Yeah.
This is the unofficial, somehow true story about Count Dante. And the great thing about it, I have to show it also, it's really built up like a Bronze Age comic book. Like with the coloring, for example, you really have this nice, like the splash page, like really nicely built up like Bronze Age. And the other thing is, all the advertisements in this are like fake advertisements that are homages to
old school ads.
Yeah, there's like the Equalizer.
Nice.
So it's highly recommended. Nobody's talking about it, crazy enough. This is a fantastic read, and I can't wait how it continues. You know, when you read a little bit, there's several Black Dragon Society. When you read a little bit about the history of the Black Dragon Societies, the several, and how Count Dante died, and all the shit that he did before, like this war. I think where was it? Chicago, New York. This war of the dojos, where one dojo attacked the other dojo. Fucking crazy. So this makes for a great comic book. So highly recommended. The next one, I always love of course, the Cerebus comics. This is the New Walks. This is of course a New Gods homage to Kirby, and also bought the signed edition by Sin.
Nice.
So it's always fun. It's very, very edgy.
I think I only have one Cerebus comic, and that's the one with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah, I think these days the Turtles wouldn't do a crossover with
not with Nickelodeon owning them.
Yeah, it's like it's a PR hot water. Then the issue number 1 of the St. Julian Queens of the Lost World comic by Opus.
Ooh, that's nice.
With the St. Julian cover, so I'm looking forward to reading this. Then, of course, as always, Thoreau, Witch of the Black Rose. Woo! Yeah. Jim Bayland represent. Then the final issue of Masters of the Universe, Masterverse. So I really hope they have a proper conclusion. I really like the first 2 issues, but with the 3rd issue, it was like, it's a little bit, it's redundant. The issue number 3 was a little bit redundant, where I was like, hey, let's get to the ending. So I hope this one gives a proper ending, because it would suck if the ending would be not proper, because the first 2 issues are really good.
So Dark Horse now, they have the rights to the He-Man.
Apparently.
Because I know they got the rights to the upcoming Ghostbuster comics.
Yeah, so seems like it at least, but who knows? Because also, like, as you know, like, there's different rights for the toy line and the cartoon of He-Man.
Yeah.
And the She-Ra rights are at DreamWorks, so it's yeah. You know how it is sometimes with the rights issues. Then issue number 4 of Dune, House Harkonnen, another fantastic Dune miniseries, of course, being adaptation by the books of Frank Herbert's son. And then there's also here issue number 5.
I kind of fell off the Dune comics, not because I didn't like them, I enjoyed them, but because money involved. I had to turn down my pull.
Yeah, for me, luckily, there's so few books I'm picking up these days, so everything I buy is actually like I have so much money now for back issues because my pull is so small.
If they would have stuck with the one Doom book, I would have been fine. But then they added like the other one, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah, but here I totally understand it, because it's not like an ongoing, it's adaptations of books written by Frank Herbert, son by Brian Herbert, to flesh out like the whole world. So it's understandable how to do it there. Then Shudder, issue number 11.
Oh, man.
Yeah, beautiful Easley cover. If anybody finds issue number 3, that issue number 3 never made it to Europe. So if anybody finds issue number 3 of Shudder, I would like very much to have it.
I'll look out for it.
I'll
check online.
And then the final collection of the German Masters of the Universe comics, which were from the Harper publishers. You know what I really miss back in the days when they licensed out internationally? Like, these are like exclusive story for the German market. So these have never been reprinted in English. So I really loved that back in the days that you really got your international flavor of Master Stories. That there were also, I think, the exclusive ones in the UK. And I really liked I really like the German ones. First of all, these were the ones I grew up with. This was some of the first comics that I bought with my pocket money. And I absolutely love how accurate these are to the toys and how bonkers like the sci-fi, the science fantasy aspect is, like the world building. So fantastic, so colorful. Like a lot of these
colors pop.
Yeah, a lot of these German artists also were very much inspired, with some Kirby designs and used those. So you can really see like this futuristic like buildings, like very much Kirby inspired.
Does it got a Kirby crackle?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure some have. Yeah, but however, since I said I also have I'm able to get more back issues. Although also got some back issues in last week.
Nice.
So finally, I found here an issue like it's the Pence variant of the Spider-Man and King Carl crossover.
Oh, nice.
It's a hard one to find.
It's a hard book to find even here.
Yeah. It's like was very happy to find this like in a shop in the Netherlands.
Every time I look up that run in back issues,
it's always that one missing. It's always that issue missing. Yeah. So I'm very happy to finally have it. Then this cover was still missing from Red Sonja Blue. One of my
nice. I got that one. That's nice.
Yeah, I got the other cover, so finally I have like this cover. This is like Red Sonja Blue and Unchained, the follow-up series. This is something where I want to find all the covers. So for Unchained, I'm still looking for a lot of the incentive covers. So finally found this issue. This is part 3 of Death Covered in Gold from the 90s Conan miniseries by Thomas and John Buscema.
Hey, actually, I didn't really look this up. I should, but how many of the late 90s miniseries Conans did Marvel do?
I don't know it in my head. I think at least 5. I think I have now. I think this is my 5 or 6. I think.
Because I know I have two of them.
Because this is now my 4th one that I'm finishing, and I think for other 2, I still need to find some issues. So it's like it's really tough to find those here. Like so, always when one pops up, I'm like, yes. So actually, this is next to a title that actually I'm not planning on collecting, but when some pops up here in Europe, they're very rare. But this is Creepy issue number 57, beautiful San Julian cover. So of course I had to pick that up.
A lot of those Creepies have some awesome covers.
Awesome covers.
Like I'm trying hard not to get into collecting them because I pull out those covers and I'm like, God, I want to.
It's so easy to fall for them.
Yeah, and I'd rather focus on my Savage Swords and Vampire before I dive on the Creepies.
Yeah. But usually it's like when I see them somewhere pop up, when I'm already doing an order at that store exactly for buying Savage Sword, then I'm like, hey, San Julian I have to get, and also this one, issue number 71, since as you know, Ken Kelly, the late Ken Kelly, is one of my favorite artists, and I absolutely love this cover. And what I love about it so much is that this reminds me from the style so much of one of his Manowar covers.
That's so gorgeous.
Yeah, so this is like I can't say no to these. Especially, I think I got both. Like each was like €10, and it's very tough to find them for the price here. Then I upgraded actually this issue because I found a higher graded one than I have of Savage Tales issue number 3.
Nice.
Of course, the first chainmail bikini from Red Sonja. Then also got issue number 4, beautiful called Neil Adams cover.
Nothing tops the Bronze Age covers, man.
Oh yes,
some painted covers of those Conans and Vampires.
Yeah, there's another Neil Adams.
I still need
issue number 5. This one I got for a good price on eBay, where I was also able to haggle a little bit. And I think this is issue number 9. Of course, this is like after issue 5, there's no more Conan and Savage Tales, but I want to complete the run anyway. So from the Conan issues, I'm also missing issue number 2 now. Nice. Luckily, I own issue number 1. Bloody man thing. Yeah.
That's gonna be a tough pill for me.
Yeah. Then issue number 39 of Savage Sword of Conan.
Nice.
Yeah. I think it's an Earl Norem cover. Yep. Beautiful Earl Norem cover. I always love when Conan fights the undead with eldritch horror. Then issue number 52. This is Nestor Redondo. Absolutely love this, where he takes the crown.
I've been like reading a couple of Savage Swords every other day.
And the next one is a later issue, 181. And this is actually one of the better Dorian covers, because some of the Dorian covers are a little bit in the uncanny valley. However, this one I think is one of the better Dorian covers. Because they're almost a little bit always too photorealistic.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
It's like they take a photo of the act and like them just doing those poses and then they just draw it.
Almost a little bit like rotoscoping it feels.
Yeah. Speaking of rotoscope, I'm looking forward to Fire and Ice is gaining traction in terms of what I'm seeing. I'll probably watch the film coming up soon.
Oh, I have, I think, for the first issue of Red Sonja, the new one, the new Conan and Fire and Ice, I think like that month my pull is mostly variant covers of those.
Yeah. So that's it?
Yeah, that's it. That's like the back issues and the monthly comic book haul.
Alright, so I got something to show.
So make yourself big.
Yeah, I'm gonna make myself big soon. I just wanna move this bubble wrap. If you've seen the Comic Call crew this past weekend, you see the gesture that Rico, Black Keys Comics.
Yeah, such cool stuff.
And a couple weeks ago, I picked up the first issue of Truth, which was the Isaiah.
Yeah.
This picked up for $15. I was like, what? And thanks to the kindness of his heart, he sent me a couple of extra books, but he sent me the whole run.
Nice.
He sent me the whole run. Another copy of #1.
And these books have a very distinctive art style.
Yes,
which I would say usually doesn't work with mainstream comics, but it being a miniseries, it actually elevates the whole experience.
I mean, when we was talking about collecting last week, you know, it's about collect what you like, collect what you read. And this series has always been hard to come by because it's always been expensive. It's like Owl with the Blue Marvel. You know, another series that's hard to come by because it's always expensive. Mm-hmm. So for Rico to send these books, the whole run, including issue #1 again, and then he also threw in the Justice of Society.
Oh, nice.
And I think this is the McDuffie. No, this is Jeff Johns. And then he threw in Night Thrasher #1.
Oh, cool. Night Thrasher is also such a cool character.
Yeah, I always liked him in New Warriors.
Yeah, it's such a... I mean, luckily the New Warriors book never came out after pissing off like everybody with those silliness with internet gas and and bullshit.
The Spider-Man 35, Peter Parker, you know, obviously Black Key comic related. But yeah, man, that shout out to Rico, Black Keys Comics. I'll probably clip this and post it on my page, but yeah, this is what, you know, why we value friends and stuff. And like I said, I've only known him for a couple of months since he joined the crew. But for him to have that gesture, and he even said it on the show, like, I like to give books out instead of just selling them, because, you know, why try and always look at value and stuff when you could just give them to a friend that wants
them. You know, it's also like this week I got a real great deal. I mean, the books are still on the way, so I hope everything is fine with the books. But I got a real good deal with shipping, €25. 2 of Hulk, I think issue number 34, the Joe Chuskaloo Ferrigno cover.
Cool. See?
So if you need one of those,
hey, I will appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, because we help each other out big time.
Yeah.
You've been killing it with the Savage Dragons for me, and I'm still gonna look for that Shudder. It's Shudder number 3, right?
Shudder number 3, yeah.
I'm gonna look for that book so I can add to the books that I gotta send you.
Yeah, especially like in a market where so many people trying to rip off other people, it's so essential that we have to collect smart. Like when I find something for a fair price where I know one of my friends needs, of course I'm gonna get it. Because I also know that all of you got my back when I'm looking for something. And even if you don't find anything, you know, I just like, you know, I think about my friends when I'm out there going through the virtual slong boxes.
And every time I see that King Conan issue with the throne,
yeah,
I think of you, because I seen it. John Novell still has it on his wall at comic shops. Mm-hmm. I mean, at the comic shows, you know. But I was like, man, I remember when we was hunting for that book.
Yeah, this is one of these books that you either get for a high price or for nothing.
And when I think it was Boat Right that found it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a huge deal for
and
us to get that book.
Yeah, and Lasse also found one for me in fucking Australia.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, it's all about helping each other out, man. And shout out to Black Key Comics for sending me that Truth series. He didn't have to do it. But
exactly, that's the
kindness of his heart, he did.
That's the beautiful thing where I'm also saying, you know, when I give something out, I don't expect anything in return. And
but I always feel like when somebody do something, even if they say they don't expect anything in return, I feel the need to do it.
Because this is actually how society works. I forgot how the English word is, but the German is Reziprozität, which is basically, you know, I give the hand to somebody gives me the hand. And this is like such an elemental behavior of humans living together.
Exactly. Instead of making life complicated for each other, help each other out.
Exactly.
You know, be the friendly person. If you're friendly with me, I'm going to be friendly with you.
Exactly. The world would be a way better place if everybody would respect it.
But, you know, too many people wants to do their own thing and be negative towards people. And that's why you're always going to have that yin and yang of life.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the same, you know, also when I found the Static #1, like for 50 fucking cents, I'm like, should I sell this for $50 or gift it to a friend? Well, I'm gifting it to a friend.
What's up, Two Gun?
Hey.
Hey, just make sure you catch the replay if you haven't checked it out. We had a blast talking.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
But for that, this will be it for this week's episode. I think next week we're off.
Exactly. Next week I am at a congress for AI, which is going to be very interesting.
Oh boy, AI. So you're going to get a first-hand exclusive look at how AI is going to take over the world.
Yeah, like also it's mostly about my presentations that I created are like in 2 parts. Is first of all how you can use AI as a tool. What can AI do? What can it do? What shouldn't it do? And then the other factor is how to focus on the skills that that the AI can't do. Like, how can you be a successful human in a world that is supported by AI? Like the emotional factor, of course, and then you also have the an AI can't get into the car and drive to visit a client, and also to establish trust. It's always so interesting with AI that you have a lot of the comparisons, with Terminator, the Matrix, where they say, oh, AI is going to take over the world. But on the other hand, what a lot of people forget, and which I think is actually more realistic than the other part, because you really need a real AI for that, and we don't have real AI. It's still a very low AI that we have that can't be creative and can't form an opinion by itself. It needs to be trained. However, what I think is actually the other part of science fiction that will come true. It's like in Star Wars, when they're like on Mos Eisley, and there's no droids allowed in the cantina. So I actually think there's going to be a huge backlash on AI in terms of in which places will we accept AI and which are we not. And it's actually going to be like tougher to get like AI in something, and also that people will be more like clients will want to look out. When I'm ordering a text from an agency, is it written by a human or by an AI? So I think that there will be some discrimination against computer generated content. That is I think what I think will happen.
And then the computers will turn on us because of that
discrimination. That's the next step, yeah.
Did you like the movie I, Robot?
I never watched the movie because it looked so fucking boring.
Okay. I was thinking if you wanted to talk that film, but
yeah, that trailer looked so boring, and it's like I'm not gonna watch that.
Note taken.
Yeah.
Note taken.
But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. Because we're still very much in the beginning of this whole AI, artificial intelligence journey. But you can truly compare it with the invention of fire, the invention of like the steam engine. It's going to be like a revolution that changes a lot, and it's so important. And sadly, it's probably not going to happen because every time everything is going to be mostly used to oppress people. But it would be such a huge chance to make life for humanity better.
We'll see. We'll see.
Because I
also think of Mass Effect, when the Quarians created the Geth, just because they were lazy to do work, and then the Geths like, we got monsters too, and they turned on the Quarians.
Yeah, because my recommendation for like companies that are in digital sales, or like also like in retail sales, is you should totally use AI for all the administrative, like for everything that it just can use data. It processes data because the computer is fast in that. And the time you win is the time that your salesman can spend more time with the clients, like where it actually counts. So
don't let these hackers get involved with this AI, because I am not liking these voice generated AIs of dead people.
It's great, yeah.
I'm not liking that, because now once you start to mimic the voice, they can use your voice against you.
Exactly. That's also that's a one thing that this is also something I have in my presentation, is in a world where reality and fiction are blurring, like it will be here very soon, with deepfakes, with voice generators. It's that the eye-to-eye meeting will become again very important. That people are more like, hey, when we talk about it, I want to meet you. I want to see a human sit next to me.
Or a surrogate. I'm trying to throw some ideas for the movie we come back with.
Yeah.
that movie came to mind, and of course, when it comes to science fiction, I was thinking The Sixth Day with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh yeah, The Sixth Day is one movie we gotta talk.
Yeah, that if we could do The Sixth Day afterwards, I'm down for that.
Yeah, but it's such an interesting feeling. What I really don't get, especially in comics, like the hostility that people have. I mean, there's a lot of fears that are very much. There are a lot of I can totally understand the fears. But the thing is, once this thing is out of Pandora's box, it won't be pushed back.
No.
It's something we have to deal with. And this is now the time when you're an artist that you say, hey, AI can't sign books. AI can't sit at cons and interact with people. So this is now where you have to present yourself as a brand. And this is also where I'm also wrote this thing where basically I'm comparing professional wrestling with salespeople. Where I say you also have to be like a larger than life persona as a salesman. Yeah. And for that you can also look like into wrestling where the best wrestling personas are based on a real person, just amped up a little bit. And
nobody personified that more than TNA commentator Don West, who was a larger than life salesman because he sold stuff on.
And that's the thing. A wrestler is also a salesman. He sells the moves.
Yeah.
And this is a really nice comparison, which I hope that people appreciate as much as I do.
I hope they don't laugh you out the room.
Yeah.
Because there are still people that turn their heads up at wrestling.
Yeah. But hey, we will see. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be interesting, you doing that.
Which is also so interesting, since I studied history. That's
the reason why people have this preconceived fear for AI because of what we was told in media and books and stuff. Like, this all has been written in history books and movies that, we don't know whether we could trust robots or AI or whatnot. I mean, when you talk about cars driving and stuff, I'm thinking, man, when are we finally going to get Kit from Knight Rider?
Or Total Recall, the taxi.
Oh, Johnny Five? I would not want him driving me anywhere. That was a creepy ass cab driver.
Yeah, but it's so interesting, also when you look back, to the first science fiction novels of Jules Verne, where he already thought about, the Nautilus, the first submarine and everything, and flying vehicles. It's science fiction it's very important actually for also scientific process because when I can think about it, when it's possible in my head, it also must be possible to create somehow.
It is, man. But it's definitely interesting, and I was also picking your brain on what we could talk about the following week. Because this AI, I think this AI thing is going to be something to look forward to seeing how it works out and how it's utilized. Because it's always like we talk about science and we talk about how things are moving forward in life with technology, and technology is becoming more and more advanced. But it's not the technology, it's not even the AI, it's about the people managing.
Yeah, the only thing I'm waiting for is like when I finally can download Kidnapster and get my Lucy Lou love bot.
I'm more worried about what people are gonna do.
And that's always the thing where I'm saying is, with Terminator, that's kind of is not that intelligent or doesn't really grasp humanity, because the only thing they would have to do is introduce obedient sex robots, and humans would stop procreating. Like there wouldn't be no more humans because everybody would just take an obedient sex bot.
We don't need that, man.
Yeah.
I want something authentic, man. Something real.
Okay.
But yeah, that was great though, man.
Yeah.
That was a great discussion, and we'll discuss what we we'll talk about after our hiatus.
Yeah, maybe something science fiction-esque, like something like
yeah, because that's why it had me asking about iRobot and stuff like that. Because I'm like, I want to touch on this more on AI and robots and stuff like that, because it is the future. No doubt about it. It is the
future, and we're just like we're at the beginning of it. You know, when people say, "Oh, ChatGPT is like still like," yeah, it's like basically, it's like it's gonna get more uncanny.
ChatGPT is slightly doing a better job at WCW's booking when it comes to wrestling. Slightly. Yeah, man. But yeah, man, I hope you have a great time next Friday with your presentation. You. Much love to you, and I hope it goes well.
You know, it will. The good thing is that I just writing the presentations and other people will present.
Oh, damn. I want you to go up there and throw your wrestling nausea out.
But probably my boss already asked me, hey, if I want to hold presentations on social media in the future.
And then if you get us like, damn, that was a great presentation, you celebrate by doing the Alex Wright dance.
Personally, actually, really, I love to be the man in the chair who writes everything. That's what people never understand. Even when I was teaching like online marketing, when I said actually like I'm very much an introvert, it's like you're not an introvert. Like actually I'm very much. I really just want to be in the room and write.
Me and you are two introverts, yet we feel like we're loud and we're talking. They're like, oh, these guys, they're loud, they talk a lot and stuff. They're not introverted, but yeah, we're introverted.
Yeah, very introverted. Like I said, like I'm working out at home. I'm not even going into a gym because like I don't want to go out and see
can't imagine giving a presentation because I used to hate doing that in school because I'm my introverted sinus. Like I freeze when I'm on stage and people are there waiting for me to talk. So I'm stumbling through my words.
Yeah, that was actually pretty. You know, of course you can train everything. It's the same with YouTube. You know, when I did the first YouTube video and I was feeling that the camera is like holding a gun at my face.
Yeah. It took a while for me to really grasp my personality towards this. Like now I'm just comfortable doing it.
Exactly. Now I have to remind myself, oh, do I have pants on? And everybody out there, you know, you can give your tips. Do I have pants on right now or do I not? Like who knows?
Nobody knows. And guess what? We're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna let you decide whether we're wearing pants.
Yeah, come back in 2 weeks for the reveal.
So, shout out to everybody that showed up here in the chat. Two Gun Pedro. Yeah.
Evolutionary Comics just joined. Hey.
Yo, what's up, Evolutionary? Subscribe to his man. He does great content. He also has a great Instagram page, so make sure you sub him up. You know, Remo, our first commenter after 30 minutes of us talking this film. We had 0 views in 30 minutes, and then Remo showed up.
But like I said, like this is for me Friday. I actually like. I'm thankful for everybody who watches. Like I totally appreciate it. But even if nobody watches, for me this is just spending Friday with one of my best friends. Since like we have like this little small pond between us, that makes it very difficult to sit down at a bar on Fridays.
Don't let Steve hear that because he's still determined.
Yeah.
To get you over here, man.
Yeah, one of these days I have to AOK myself.
So with that, we're gonna sign off. Peace out to everybody, and have a great weekend, y'all.
Savage one.